Hi, Douglas Simonson here, coming to you from Mexico with a drawing demonstration. Today we're going to be doing heads from tricky angles. Spoiler alert, it's all about the ears. There is a great website called Sketchfab with lots of 3D user-generated content. And you can go on there and look up all kinds of material and look at these shapes, heads, or whatever you want to draw, and rotate it in 3D so that you can draw it from any angle. So I borrowed a couple of 3D images from Sketchfab to show you how the head changes as we move around it. Here we're looking at the head in a neutral position, and this is what we think of when we think of drawing the face, where the eyes are more or less even with the top of the ears, and the nose and the mouth are more or less even with the bottom of the ears. And those proportions will vary a lot, but this is more or less what we think of when we think about drawing the face. But what happens when we move up or down? Imagine that you're moving up so that we're going to be looking down on the head. Notice that as you go up, the ears also go up. Now they're way above all the facial features, and the facial features are all clustered down toward the bottom. Now let's look at the head from below. Notice that now the ears are way down below all the facial features, and the facial features are all clustered up toward the top. So the position of the ears can tell you a lot. When you're looking up at the face or the head, the ears are down low. And when you're looking down at the head or the face, the ears are up high. When you're looking at the head from other extreme angles, again, the ears will tell you everything you need to know. You can tell the position of the head by looking at the ears or the ear, even if you can't see the facial features. So today, as you watch me draw heads from tricky angles, we're going to be paying a lot of attention to the ears. Okay, let's draw some tricky heads. The thing that happens when you see a head from above, besides the ears being above the facial features, is that the features are all clustered down toward the chin. They're all really close together. The other thing is you're drawing a lot more hair because the top of the head takes up a lot of space from this angle. When you're looking at the head from below, the ears drop way down, as I've said before. And the facial features move up. They're all clustered toward the top. This is foreshortening. And those features are really close together. One of the hardest things about drawing a face from this angle is fighting your own brain, which tells you, no, those features can't be that close together. But they are. Here's one where you're looking up at the face, but it's not nearly so extreme. The ears are still lower than usual. They're about even with the mouth. And the eyes and nose are closer together than they would be otherwise. So you're using the same principles, it's just not as extreme with this angle. we're looking straight up at Mustafa, and that makes things easier because it's not off at an angle. So I was able to just draw a big block and put the ears down at the bottom part of it. It wasn't until I was almost done with this that I realized that the top of the head, I was keeping it pretty square, when really it's farther away from us and it needs to taper. So I changed that and now it looks much better. Here's another one seen from above. Again, the ears are pretty high and we're seeing a lot of the top of the head. And again, the features are bunched down toward the bottom. Not as extreme in this case as in some of the others, but they're all foreshortened down there. And in fact, the nose almost covers part of the mouth. As I was finishing this one, I realized that I had made the hairline pretty straight across when actually it follows the curve of the head. So I fixed that and now it looks much better. I also went back at the end and refined the shape of the top of the head just a bit, which also helps. This photo of Fabian, we've got even more of a challenge because we're looking at it from below, but we're also looking at the side of the head. And the ear is up high as usual, but the features are tricky to draw because they're curving around the front of the head. This is where you really have to observe and not listen to your brain saying what an eye or a nose or a mouth looks like. No, these are completely abstract shapes that have nothing to do with our concept of eyes, nose, mouth, any of that. You just have to see them as abstract shapes and pay attention to the angles because they're not what you expect. I was done with this, and then I looked again and realized I'd made the head way too small. So I moved the ear up a bit and moved it back and made it a bit larger. And then just added a lot to the back of the head, and it helps a lot. This is what can happen when you pay too much attention to the facial features and not enough to the big picture. So again, learn from my mistakes. last image of Camilo is kind of similar to the one we just did of Fabian, because again, we're looking up and the head is kind of turned away from us, so we have some really extreme angles here. And again, you have to, when you look at those facial features, you really have to let go of what you think of an eye or a nose or mouth looks like, because these are extreme shapes that don't look anything like what you've seen before. You just have to let go of your preconceptions and really look at those as abstract shapes and pay attention to the angles. If you can look at these as abstract shapes and really pay attention to the angles, you can do this. Okay, that's it for today. This was a difficult one. I did this not just for you guys, but for myself as well. And I think I improved my skills a bit doing this video. Go to Sketchfab. I'll put the link down below, and try spinning some of those heads around and drawing them from tricky angles. It's a great way to improve your skills. And please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Okay? Now, go draw!